When we think about ways to accelerate the plastic recycling, I like to insist first on the fact that it's very important not to focus on one technology over the other, but really to look at the complete reverse value chain. And I think this also goes with the policies. Policies need to tackle the whole reverse value chain. And for me, the important factor is to have clear understanding and clear rules and policies, because this is going to lay down the foundation for standardization. Once you have standardization, then the digitalization is a necessary tool to ensure first that you have access to the data, but also to contextualize the data so you can then apply this and feed the requirements from the policies. I would argue that it is important to think about digitalization from the conception of your project or the development of the technology, because then you're good to go. When the policy will be in place, you can set the data and ensure the traceability as well as the transparency and the trust of the data to meet the requirement of the policies. There are key barriers to close the plastic loop. I'd like to first maybe insist on the feedstocks. Securing the feedstock is a primary barrier you have to overcome. After that, it's really to understand the right pathway for recycling and have the right material preparation pathway again to ensure that you get the right streams where it needs to go. And then the third barrier is about the off-taking, making sure that you can secure your off-taking so you're at the end controlling the various pieces. And I think it's important, you have to think a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle. You have to make sure that all those pieces come into place so you are lowering the risk and you can make the successful story or the successful project to close the plastic loop. So at Schneider Electric, we started some pilot projects in Europe with some of our products coming from the home, switches and sockets. And the idea was to take some end-of-life products from this line, from the sockets and switches, and to work with recyclers in Europe to be able to segregate the different engineering plastic that we have in these products and see how we could re-inject that into our products to make really a closed loop. So the big next step is really embarking digitalization from the beginning in order to make sure that you provide the trusted data and the proof about the claim that you're going to make in terms of recycled content and recycled plastics. So in Schneider Electric, we believe that the big next step is going to deploy at large scale the software-defined automation, which will constitute really the backbone of your digitalization journey for your plastic circularity. I think this sixth edition of the Global Go Circular was a success. I enjoy particularly the fact that we have stakeholders from the reverse value chain, whether it's the solution, the technology providers, on the mechanical recycling, on the chemical recycling, as well as the brand owners and also the regulation body that are sharing their feedback. I think this is very important to keep this relation going and this discussion, because there's a lot ahead of us. If we need to accelerate, we need to accelerate the plastic circularity, and I think these events are great to keep the momentum.